Good Thursday afternoon, everyone. I'm meteorologist Justin Horn with quick.
Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
Should the Spurs get public money to help pay for a new arena? Bexar County voters will be asked that question in just a few months. A new arena could cost as much as $1.5 billion.
Under the latest discussion, the city's share of that could be as high as $500 million. The county's up to $311 million. Garrett Berger joins us now to talk about how voters will decide if all of this is in or out of bounds. Garrett.
Absolutely. That is going to be the question on your ballot, Myra's ballot. This week, Bexar County officials added 2 questions to the November ballot for voters: whether to raise and use the county's venue tax to help fund up to a quarter of the cost of a new Spurs arena, and whether to raise and use that same tax for maintaining or improving county-owned facilities around the Spurs' current home. Now, we've been asking for your opinion all day. You can scan the QR code on your screen right now to let us know what you think. And while you weigh in, listen to what others had to say when we hit the street today. The Spurs are undoubtedly San Antonio's team. But does that make their new arena partially the public's responsibility? For some, it's easy.
Because how are they going to build it, without the, taxpayers? Supporters
are quick to point out the venue tax that would be tapped for Bexar County's share is made up of taxes on car rentals and hotel stays. Part of the vote includes raising the hotel portion.
It's being pitched as it's a tax on visitors. So does that do something
yes,
for you?
Yes, it does. As a resident of Bexar County, I'm not going to be staying in a hotel. So that would have an impact on it, yes.
But organized opposition has been popping up, and not everyone is a fan.
I'm not going to vote for it.
Why not?
I don't think it's necessary right now. They need to make improvements on the existing Alamo Dome and the Coliseum, and they can find ways around those neighborhoods.
On the same ballot, voters will also be asked about using the same tax to cover maintenance of the Spurs' current home, the Frost Bank Center, and the nearby Freeman Coliseum, as well as to improve the Coliseum grounds.
We hope to make it Pearl-like, a place that people want to come and stay.
Both questions will appear one after the other on your ballot.
Oh, that'd be great. Like I said, it needs to be updated, so it needs more revenue comes in, the better off we are. So, either way.
Both easy yeses for you.
Yes, they're both easy yeses.
The city is still working on its own financing deal for the arena, which voters will not have a say on. But their choice in the county's election will affect the larger plans.
I would expect that in the LOI, it will say the city's participation is contingent upon a November passage of the county.
Yeah, so let's see, what did y'all have to say about it? We're going to check out the results here. It looks like 17% in favor of sending that tax to a new Spurs arena, 1% in favor of sending it to the Coliseum complex, 16% would go for both. But the majority, 2/3 of you, would say don't send it to either. That's a big uphill climb. Now, you can continue to vote online at ksat.com/poll. We'll share the final results tomorrow morning on GSA. But the official ones, the ones that are going to matter, is what happens at the ballot box. And that's a little under 3 months away, November 4th.
Yeah, and that's a long time between now and November. So we'll see what happens between now and then.
It is. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Well, Garrett and I agreed on something. Write that down. I'm writing it in my diary.
Well, I think it will, but the real question is going to be whether they can make up the ground. There's obviously been an upswell of opposition lately against public funding for this arena project, and I just don't know if they're going to be able to overcome that, but it's going to really be on the Spurs to make their case to voters because, as we just heard from their general counsel and chief legal officer, the city funding likely tied to whatever voters decide for the county.
We're also getting more numbers, which will help people make a decision as well. Garrett, thank you.
Thanks, Garrett.
And I think you've gone through a lot of trauma growing up.
That is Judge William Cruz Shaw speaking to a student accused of bringing tactical gear and ammunition to Rhodes Middle School back in April. He's also facing an arson charge. That student in court today asking to be released into the custody of his grandmother. The teen has been in jail since his arrest in May.
And he will stay there after the judge denied that release today, keeping the teen in Bexar County Juvenile Detention for the time being. Judge Shaw says he believes the teenager is still a danger to himself and others, but the boy's time in detention gives him access to mental health services.
And I like that you're receiving services in the back. I really do. And you're progressing through those services. Okay? There's a light at the end of this tunnel. I promise you that. But let's keep you here. I know you're safe and you're receiving services. You're having no problems in the back.
Judge Shaw says the teen's next detention hearing is set for August 21st. A bat found in an outlet mall in San Marcos has tested positive for rabies. That bat was discovered near the Le Creuset store at the Tanger outlets on August 2nd. A lab in Austin later determined it had rabies. Rabies is a deadly virus that spreads through saliva and can infect humans, pets, and wildlife. If you think you might have been exposed, call San Marcos Animal Services right away.
A legislative standoff between state Democrats and Republicans now going to the court system. That's after Governor Greg Abbott moves to vacate the seats of Democrats who fled the state, breaking quorum. Democrats fled the state on Sunday to prevent the legislature from passing a new congressional map that would add more Republican seats to Congress. While legal experts, even Attorney General Ken Paxton, aren't favoring Abbott's odds, the case is going before the all-Republican Texas Supreme Court, made up of mostly Abbott appointees. If the court sides with the governor, those members would need to be replaced in special elections. President Trump's tariffs took effect today. Goods from more than 60 countries in the European Union will have a tariff rate of at least 10% or higher. The economic move has been highly controversial. Several countries are scrambling to find alternative customers to the U.S. market. We reached out to the Toyota plant locally, which has seen an impact. They said they will see an impact. In a statement, the company said, quote, a 25% tariff on imported vehicles, highly disruptive and cannot be sustained. Tariffs of this magnitude will lead to significantly higher vehicle prices, further erode affordability and choices for the American consumer, and negatively impact the economy, suppliers, and the auto industry, end quote.
Well, getting the kids all geared up for back to school can be so expensive, but this weekend is an opportunity to save some money. Tax-free weekend runs tomorrow through Sunday. You can buy clothing, shoes, school supplies, and backpacks under $100 without paying taxes on them. Some businesses like Walmart are making this weekend a little bit easier on customers by organizing all those products in advance.
We realize people want to save money so they can live better. And so we have 14 items that we're representing on this table alone that are lower than last year's price.
You could also purchase qualifying items online as long as you're buying from a Texas-based business.
All right, let's take a look outside with the weather and the drought monitor.
Yeah, the drought monitor, the new one's in, and it hasn't changed very much. I've got that for you. I also want to give you a quick update on the lake levels, the reservoir levels. Canyon at almost 70% full. That's up 15 feet over the past 3 months. Most of the flooding rain, that fell ended up going into Canyon Lake. Medina Lake at 6% full, and that's up 15 feet. Buchanan at almost 100% because of the recent rainfall. And Travis is at 90% full. Before, you look at 3 months ago, it was at 46% full. That did its job of absorbing the rush of water from July. All right, you look at our local drought monitor, really not even a minor change. You go into West Texas, and that's where we had a few subtle changes, especially closer to El Paso. But let's compare this to mid-May, and you see the different situation. We're going to talk more about our rain chances and the little feature that we're watching from Florida, along with a tropical update in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Adam. We've taken a look at several different TransGuide cameras around town. One thing I've noticed, those green areas on the side of the highway, they are changing more to brown in mid-August here, but no major traffic tie-ups to tell you about.
We are learning more about the emergency response to the July 4th Hill Country floods and its impact in Kendall County.
KSAT Investigates obtained dispatch audio, and it includes a first responder scoffing when an emergency dispatcher forwarded a message that all low water crossings needed to be closed. That call was made before 5 a.m. Then about 20 minutes later, that first responder, who has been identified as a Kendall County Sheriff's deputy, made this comment.
Hey, did y'all open up a call sheet for that water flood stuff?
9 bodies recovered in Kendall County following the floods, none of them Kendall County residents.
Officials there saying the victims were swept downstream from other communities. As soon as the floodwaters hit the Hill Country, the men and women of the United Cajun Navy rushed in. This organization is made up of a lot of skilled volunteers who have been crucial in the response to the flooding.
Most are from out of state, but they are not leaving until the locals say they're no longer needed. Courtney Friedman talked to the regional commander, whose team is facing some tough situations.
From Gulf Shores, Alabama.
But most of Kevin LaVon's time is spent elsewhere. Anywhere there's a disaster and a need for help. LaFond is the regional commander of the United Cajun Navy, a group of volunteers that formed during Hurricane Katrina. Then about 10 years ago, it became an official nonprofit.
And now we've got 200,000 square foot warehouse in Baton Rouge that we have relief supplies in to respond to any kind of disaster anywhere around the country.
A specialized team hit the ground in the Texas Hill Country on July 4th.
Divers, dogs, boats, fast water people, people with tracking skills, people with regular search and rescue and recovery skills. Those are the people that we needed to deploy right away.
First response skills are not mandatory in the United Cajun Navy, but those are the types of volunteers that rush to the Guadalupe River. Former military, firefighters, peace officers, and dog handlers. On day one, they made about a dozen rescues, working in conjunction with local responders.
And then after that, you shift into the horrible job that not everyone could handle of recovery efforts.
Yeah, the recovery efforts definitely take your toll on people, and it's a lot of looking for what you really don't want to find but need to find. And so the team's going out with dogs. Dogs are just huge assets to it. And then our drone team's flying over top with specialized equipment.
Now they're spending their time teaching locals the logistical side of recovery.
Our main job now is to help work with homeowners to connect the dots between all the equipment and volunteers that are out there that still want to help.
Once locals feel confident, LaFond and his team will step away, likely towards another disaster. But they will always be available to the Hill Country community they've come to love and respect.
But we're only a phone call away.
Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
They are helping, but they could also use help. Anyone who wants to help, the United Cajun Navy can head to their website or Facebook page to become a volunteer or to donate. They have Amazon lists that give specific needs for the flood disaster. We have information on our website. Just search United Cajun Navy on KSAT.com.
Tonight, a final curtain call for the Conjunto legend Flaco Jimenez. This is a live look at the Carver Community Cultural Center, where the family of Flaco Jimenez is holding a memorial.
Our Avery Everett is at that memorial right now. They're calling it Flaco's Final Curtain Call, an apt name for that. She'll have the full breakdown for us tonight on the Night Beat at 10.
Still to come here at 6 o'clock, Tobin Center, Wurzbach Parkway, Vance Jackson Road. A lot of places in San Antonio are named after people. But who were those people? What did they do? KSAT explains some of the namesakes of San Antonio.
And Texas kids will have to start getting used to leaving the phone at home when heading to school. Look at how some of our local school districts are preparing for the new cell phone ban.
As San Antonio schools are getting ready to welcome students back to class over the next 2 weeks, districts are in the process of creating their own cell phone ban. Last week, Governor Greg Abbott signed a law banning cell phones in classrooms, but districts don't have to implement it in all the same way.
Our Madeline Lambert gathered a majority of San Antonio area districts' responses to see how each will create their own policy. You can also scan the QR code on your screen to see how your district plans to implement the new cell phone ban.
Texas will join several districts across the country in banning cell phones in schools starting this fall. We reached out to more than 20 districts in the San Antonio area to see how they plan to implement the new law. Here's what you need to know. The new law allows some flexibility. Each district will implement their own unique cell phone ban, and most districts we spoke with say that students may bring a phone to school. However, all cell phones and communication devices must be powered off and out of sight during the school day. This includes headphones and smartwatches. If parents need to get in touch with their child, districts ask that parents call the front office at their school. Alamo Heights ISD, for example, says cell phones must be put away and tablets and laptops, they're no longer allowed. Northeast, Northside, and San Antonio ISD plan to discuss their cell phone ban policies over the next 2 weeks in a district meeting. Madeline Lambert, KSAT 12 News.
Let's take a look outside with live cam. We got some haze out there to deal with. Adam, it looks like it's a little bit less.
It does, actually.
It does look brighter than it did at 5.
It did.
It's more blue out there now.
It was that little band of Canadian wildfire smoke that moved through. That's what it was. And it was just very subtle. But we could kind of see the difference.
Yeah.
Between the two.
It looked, what'd you call it, milky?
Yeah.
There?
Yeah. That milky blue sky. Or milky blue sky, however you want to say it.
Milky.
Milky, I know. Buchanan or Buchanan? Like.
Oh, I heard you earlier.
You did.
I did. I noticed.
You noticed. I mix them both in. All right, so let's take a look at our rain chances going forward. And it's nothing significant, but hey, for August, we're talking even a slight chance of rain at 20% Sunday all the way through Wednesday. Nothing significant, just could have enough lift out there to get something going. We're watching the panhandle of Florida now, and you see how we have some shower activity along the west coast of Florida. There's actually a weak disturbance that's starting to take shape. It's this little dip in the upper level flow. That's going to basically detach and move westward across the Gulf over the next few days, make its way here by Sunday, and then linger around through Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It's this upside down trough or inverted trough, kind of that we typically get this time of year, rather than the big, deep digging ones, that come in from the west with it cooler Canadian air. This is just a subtle weak trough coming along across the Gulf, little bit of moisture with it, nothing significant. But again, a few showers possible Sunday through Wednesday, mainly in the afternoons. So climatologically speaking, in the Atlantic Basin, hurricane season peaks September 10th, so we're about a month away from that. And normally by now we start to see activity ramping up. That's normal, that's typical. Still fairly quiet. We have the remnants of Dexter that's moving off in the North Atlantic. It's a post-tropical cyclone now. 30% chance of some, or actually that's down to 20% chance. I got to update that. That just dropped to 20% chance. So that's basically negligible off the New England coastline. What's more likely is this cluster of energy and storms way out there over the Atlantic, and that's headed out into the central part of the Atlantic with a 60% chance of developing into the next tropical storm, maybe even hurricane. 99 our high temperature today, so we didn't do it. We still have 9 triple-digit days so far this year, behind pace of the past 3 summers. 100 right now in Gonzales and Devine, Sabinal 101. 99 New Braunfels and Converse, Port SA at 99, the typical August heat we're feeling. And tomorrow's going to be similar. 77 in the morning, 92 at noon, about 101 for the high locally, up to 103, Cotulla, Carrizo Springs. Folks in Laredo making it to 105. It's August in South and Central Texas, and we're feeling that. Trimming off a few degrees, upper 90s as we get into next week.
Okay, thanks, Adam.
All right, a lot of scrimmaging. The Cowboys and the Rams are getting to know each other very well, Larry.
Very well. So they practiced together, on Tuesday, I believe, and then Saturday they're going to kick off the preseason against one another in Los Angeles. And Cowboys rookie Tyler Booker was just thrilled that he got to face a different opponent on Tuesday. And here locally, Texas State football, we're talking about their practice, and head coach G.J. Kinney was just thrilled after how his team competed. We got it coming up.
Camping with KSAT, powered by Thomas J. Henry.
Dallas Cowboys star defender Micah Parsons wasn't at practice today as the boys prepare to face the Rams on Saturday in preseason action. Cowboys EVP Stephen Jones told reporters that Parsons remains with the team, and then later on it came out that Parsons was out today because he's dealing with back tightness. Reporters also noted that Jerry Jones wasn't there either. In other news, Cowboys rookie offensive lineman Tyler Booker enjoyed the joint practice with the Rams on Tuesday.
It felt good, just to be able to go against different players, different fronts, different schemes. It's only going to make me a better player, and it was good to learn and go against a different team today.
What do you feel specifically, just one or two of those things that you would take away from the scrimmage and say, hey, this is definitely what I need to improve upon going forward?
Just recognizing the different kind of fronts that I'll have to play against, like the front that the Cowboys play, that we play, our defense plays, is a different kind of front than the Rams play, that we play today. So just knowing the different kind of fronts, knowing that I might get a different look from one front to another, that's something I could be a lot more cognizant of. And then just, I feel like that's the biggest thing, just knowing my personnel, knowing who I'm going against.
And the Houston Texans are going through drills at the Greenbrier in West Virginia as they get ready for their preseason opener Saturday at the Minnesota Vikings. Head coach D'Amico Ryans was asked what does he want to see from his guys in that game.
What I want to see is our guys just go out and see who can go play when the lights are on. Like, guys do it sometimes in practice and the lights come on. Sometimes you see guys show up even better in the game, and some guys don't show up as well. So I just want to see who shows up when it's game time. I've seen them practice now for several weeks, and I'm pretty sure I know what guys are capable of doing, but sometimes you always have those guys who surprise you in preseason game, and that's the exciting part about preseason, seeing those young guys shine bright when they get their moment. So I'm looking for guys to go out and have fun, execute, but most importantly, just play for each other and finish the game the right way.
Turning to college football now, we checked in with UTSA and UIW at 5, and now it's time to hang out with the Texas State Bobcats. The Bobcats are coming off back-to-back 8-5 seasons while winning the First Responders Bowl in each of those seasons. That football program definitely on the rise as they will head to the new Pac-12 in 2026. In the meantime, Coach Kinney is thrilled with how his team practiced yesterday.
We got better today. That was the best practice of the year. Man, a lot of situational football, red zone, third down. That was awesome. That was a lot of fun. This group, I told you last time, this group is fun to coach, man. It really is. A lot of guys wanting to please their coaches. Great competition, man. We got some good players that are continuing to get better, and we're building a lot of depth right now. We're going 3 groups, man. And we're getting some of these young guys some work. Some of these older guys that maybe need to knock off some rust, that haven't played in a while, that transferred in, they're starting to hit their stride, and you're starting to see a little bit of separation in some areas, which is really good to see. But we're not nowhere near to close to playing a game. We need every single one of these practices, every one of these meetings and walkthroughs to get where we need to get.
Texas State will host Eastern Michigan Saturday, August 30th at 7 p.m. to kick off their season.
That's an exciting coach right there.
Heck yeah, best practice of the season so far. Great.
Yeah. Thanks, Larry.
You got it.
Still ahead to come, the entirety of South Texas come together to support the Hill Country following the July 4th floods. We're going to show you a way you can pitch in while listening to good music and enjoying good food.
Plus, you see names all over San Antonio, but who were the namesakes of so many of our roads and buildings and parks? KSAT Explains is next.
These are among my favorite KSAT Explains, in case you're wondering. Have you driven by a building, a park, a street, and thought, I wonder where that name came from? There are several San Antonio names you see over and over across the city.
So that got us asking, who are these people and what did they do that's so significant? Here's KSAT Explains.
Tobin, Modla, McAllister, Wurzbach. Who were they? To help us answer that, let's tell you who this is.
Tell me your name.
David Green.
And what's the title of your book?
Place names of San Antonio and surrounding counties.
He's an orthopedic surgeon by trade and a lover of trivia and history by trait.
I was on the faculty of the medical school for 8 years, and my office was on Floyd Curl Drive. And for 8 years, I asked people who was Floyd Curl, and nobody could tell me.
That curiosity launched years of research for his book. Floyd Curl Drive is one of the main roads running through the medical center on San Antonio's northwest side. So who was Mr. Curl, or rather, Reverend Curl?
Turns out he was a Methodist minister. He chaired the first meeting when some businessmen and medical people got together and said, let's build a medical center. And the first building out there was Methodist Hospital, and so they named the only street in the whole medical center for Floyd Curl.
San Antonio has no shortage of streets bearing someone's name, but there are two that tend to raise a lot of questions, and not just about their namesakes.
People always wonder why we have two Wurzbach roads. Well, it's a great story.
William Wurzbach and Harry Wurzbach were brothers. William, the oldest, he was a Texas congressman from 1895 to 1897.
In 1904, William Wurzbach and his father-in-law, Gustav Schmelzer, bought 1,400 acres of what is now the medical center.
The dirt road that once led to Wurzbach's home became Wurzbach Road. And yes, Wurzbach Parkway. From Ingram Road to Lock Hill Selma, it's Wurzbach Road. Then from Lock Hill Selma to O'Connor Road near I-35, it's Wurzbach Parkway, both named for William.
So, where does Harry Wurzbach come from?
He becomes the first Republican elected to Congress from Texas since Reconstruction.
He had served in the Spanish-American War and was very involved in veterans organizations, so he's much beloved for that reason.
Of issues like civil rights, he voted for an anti-lynching bill, for instance, which was an act of great courage on his part, certainly.
People wanted to do something for Harry. So they went down to city council and lobbied to get a road named for Harry.
People were upset because there was already a Wurzbach Parkway, and they thought they'd be confused.
They lost, and it is confusing.
A giant building downtown bears the name of a giant San Antonio legend.
Henry B.
Henry B.
The Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center.
Henry B. Gonzalez is one of the most significant San Antonians, I would argue.
He was in Congress for more than 30 years, but he started out in San Antonio City Council.
Then Gonzalez became the first Mexican-American elected to the Texas Senate in 1956, and the first Mexican-American from Texas elected to U.S. Congress in 1961.
Incredible dedication to attacking and speaking out against segregation of Mexican Americans in the 1950s.
He was seen as a person who cared about people no matter their station.
His real claim to fame was when they had the big banking savings and loan scandal.
He upset a lot of people, but the people who didn't like him said at least he's trying to get to the bottom of the crisis and make things better for everyday San Antonians.
Another name you see over and over, McAllister. Walter McAllister was mayor of San Antonio from 1961 to 1971. He was instrumental in helping expand San Antonio College.
There's Mayor McAllister with the president of the Conservation Society, Mrs. Brooks Martin, or Pinky Martin as she was known, and of course the famous Congressman Henry B. Gonzalez. They're all smiling here, which is a little unusual because actually the Conservation Society fought Mayor McAllister for most of his tenure in office because they were against the highway that was going to be built through Breckenridge Park.
But he had the vision that we needed a road from downtown to the airport, which is 281, and it bears his name.
Eventually it was built. Because of the Conservation Society's opposition, the city was unable to use federal funds, so it did it with state and local funds.
Sometimes it's called McAllister Freeway to honor him, and sometimes, at least initially, it was called McAllister Freeway because some folks resented that that road plowed through their front yards and their backyards, and so they said he should get credit or discredit.
Now from one name to many, the Tobin family.
The Tobin family they were huge philanthropists in San Antonio.
John W. Tobin, who was mayor during one of the great periods in San Antonio history, the time the Conservation Society was founded in the 1920s, was a great period of growth for the city.
When they built Almost Dam, when they had a big flood downtown, and he was instrumental in doing that.
Mayor Tobin's nephew was Edgar Tobin. His story is on display at the Whitty Museum.
Edgar Tobin, and he was a World War I ace pilot, came back and started an aerial photography company.
But they were really not a wealthy family. And Edgar Tobin's the one that created this aerial surveys and created a mapping company that all the oil and gas companies of the day needed to have these Tobin maps. So that's where the family fortune really came from.
Edgar's wife, Margaret, had a love for art, theater, and symphony.
And she started the San Antonio Symphony in 1939.
She passed on that passion to their son, Robert L.B. Tobin, who the Tobin Center is named after.
Robert was a born collector. He probably has the biggest collection of theater arts in the entire world, and that's now known as the Tobin Collection of Theater Arts, which is housed at the McNay Art Museum today.
So when you think of something like the Tobin Center, you think of the arts because these are the people that help create some of our foundational arts organizations.
Education is the legacy of our next name, Frank Modla Jr.
We're standing right now in the Senator Frank Modla building on campus.
The campus of Texas A&M San Antonio.
His major dream was to bring a public university to the south side of San Antonio, and he labored literally for years to do this, to get this support.
Modla served in the Texas House and Senate from 1972 to 2006. He helped bring the Toyota plant to San Antonio and redevelop the old Kelly Air Force Base. But he didn't live to see his dream for a Southside University become reality. He died in a house fire in 2006. A&M San Antonio became a standalone university in 2009.
We view him as an iconic figure on our campus, and our campus colors are silver and black and what we call Modla Maroon. He was just really a constant voice for the people of this area.
And those are just a few San Antonio namesakes in a city full of so many stories to tell.
A lot of people don't want to read a history book or hear about a historical event, but if it's in a place or a place name, the park is named, the street is named, the building is named, then it's part of your regular everyday life. It's not this separate category of history, it's just part of life, and it connects you to people who were there before.
Anything we missed?
Oh yeah, we missed about 990 of these things.
There's more of those stories to tell. We have a full library of KSAT Explained stories, and you can watch them anytime for free. Scan the QR code on your screen or just head over to the KSAT YouTube page.
Including more name stories.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's still ahead. What do burgers, music, and the Hill Country have in common? Well, it's a fun and tasty way to raise money for those hit hard by the July 4th floods. What's happening at Sam's Burger Joint? We'll tell you about it next.
Sam's Burger Joint is hosting a benefit concert this Saturday to help those hit by last month's Hill Country floods. Local bands like Steve Sellers and the Los Tacuaches are headlining, and the music runs from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tickets are $20. For more details, you can find them all at KSAT.com.
Take a live look outside, and we have been monitoring the haze in the air. Milky, however, chalky.
A little more blue out there.
Yeah, it's definitely, it seems as if it's clearing out, though, every time we look at live cam, Adam.
Yeah, and it looks like it's cleared out a little bit. Here's a look at the high-resolution NOAA National Weather Service satellite imagery, and you really see it especially over the Gulf waters there. It's kind of choppy. It gets choppy if it plays for too long, but you see that little band of haze? Boom, right there. That goes west to east. That's wildfire haze from Canadian wildfires that made its way, the smoke made its way down here. It doesn't pose any risk or anything like that. Just something that you may have noticed up in the sky, a little milky blue color to our sky. We're going to talk about not just the drought monitor, but like spring flows, aquifer levels, and how below average they are, because they impact the drought situation in just a bit.
All right, we didn't quite get there today, but close enough to triple digits. And you were talking about that drought monitor, not a whole lot of change there, and we need more rain chances.
Yeah, and you know, the spring flows are way down. They're below average. The aquifer levels are way below average, and that's what's really taken into account as well, instead of just, you know, the rainfall that we had over the summer, especially with what we had in July. It still wasn't the type that really improved those situations. So that's why we're in the situation where we are, where the drought monitor really hasn't changed over the past week or so. Let's take a look at the triple digit days. We're at 9 so far this year. 9. Now you look at the past 3 summers and we are behind pace. I mean, look at last year at this time, 13. That's not a significant difference. But this time in 2023, we had 42, and in 2022, we had 56 by this time. I do think we'll get a few more. We're at 97 is our average high temperature, and we're not going to be far from that in the days ahead, within a few degrees, and actually 98 the high for Sunday all the way through Tuesday of next week. This time of year, climatologically speaking, the warmest. It's the warmest average afternoon high that we have all year long. But look at the record, 105 set back in, 2023. Such a hot summer. And that gives you the potential of just how hot it can get this time of year. Across the state, we had triple digits, of course. And Del Rio, 101, Wichita Falls, Abilene, Lubbock, 101, 105. The high temperature in El Paso. The stronger heat is in the desert Southwest, not just because it's the desert Southwest, but you look at the triple digits into the teens, 116 Phoenix, 107 Las Vegas. Now, even yesterday, Phoenix was 116, and that was a new record for the day by 2 degrees. So yes, hot, but also record-breaking heat. The big upper level high, big blue H, especially pressing down and warming up New Mexico and Arizona. Whereas Pacific Northwest, East coast of the U.S., we have little dips in the upper level flow, and it's kind of the opposite situation. Rain chances at 20% Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and even on into Wednesday. The upper level high is slowly going to break down, opening the door for a weak disturbance in the upper levels, a little ripple in the upper level flow to move in from Florida. It's going to go across the Gulf from Florida, then make its way here. It should be just enough to take some of the instability in the air and turn it into a few showers. Nothing significant. Overall potential is actually pretty limited around here. There's actually a separate upper level disturbance that's going to be moving into North Texas. They have better odds of and even better potential for accumulations opposed to South Central Texas here. 97 right now, 88 at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. We start the day at 77 again, then making it up to 101 by the afternoon. The typically warmer spots along the Rio Grande, definitely a few degrees above 100. Then we trim off a few degrees next week to 98 with those slight rain chances.
All right, thanks, Adam.
Not yet.
Oh, not yet.
Forgot what day it was.
Guys.
I'm usually the one doing this.
Gave a shout out to.
How could I forget this guy?
Mr.
Who came to visit us.
Oh, he got a selfie with you. Mr. Mark Schneider came in from Hallettsville to pick up his thermometer. He made it in. I, showed him around, said hi to everybody. Quite a character. I love my Hallettsville folks, right? And then, better yet, he dropped off some of his eggs from his chickens. Yeah. Not only that, pasture raised, all natural, cage free, and then meat.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
He knows his way to my heart, and a lot of that's his smoked venison sausage. And I was telling Myra yesterday, it's a great day when your Post-it note reminder at your desk just says meat, because I had to remind myself to go get it out of the fridge and freezer.
Just a hot pink Post-it on your desk.
Yeah, if you wouldn't have got it out, it wouldn't be there.
It wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
I do have a winner, by the way. Adolph Vargas of New Braunfels. Congratulations. Just sent you an email. Go to ksat.com/thermometer to enter the drawing. No sausage required. It's just a perk.
It just helps.
I appreciate it.
All right, very cool.
Yep.
Thank you, Adam.
Want to show you a look at what's coming up on ABC's primetime lineup tonight. After the show, it's Celebrity Family Feud. That starts at 7. After that, 2 hours of Press Your Luck starting at 8. Finally, join us back here for the night beat at 10. All right, KSAT Sports Now streams your way at 7 o'clock, and we're going to talk Cowboys and perhaps the biggest name that wasn't on the field today.
Yeah, Micah Parsons out today. He wasn't out there watching or walking around doing whatever because he has lower back tightness. But he continues.
Sure, that's the reason.
He continues to be the hot topic though because of this contract extension that he wants. So today, Dak Prescott talked about it. Of course, he's gone through his own. Looking for new contracts with the Cowboys, dealing with the Joneses.
Yep.
So how did that help Dak, and will that help Micah?
Yeah, and the Texans went to West Virginia.
They did?
To practice.
Yeah.
I don't know what the temperature is in West Virginia, but I'm guessing it's cooler and less humid than Houston.
I think Daniel told me the other day, producer Dan, it was about 70 degrees out there most days, right? Lows in the 60s, so you know the Texans loved it. But CJ Stroud.
I didn't know Dan was an expert on West Virginia weather.
Oh, he loves West Virginia weather.
Yeah.
And the Texans. I mean, come on. Also loves the Cubs. You know Danny.
I know. He's everywhere.
Anyway, so CJ Stroud is talking about the new offensive coordinator who came from the LA Rams, working under Sean McVay.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think Dan's just a big John Denver fan. Take me home, country roads, that kind of thing. He nods, he agrees. KSAT Sports Now comes your way tonight at 7 anyway. You stream KSAT. We'll be right back.
Back to school season is here, and whether you're looking to score some new kicks, try a new outfit, get some pants, Tax-Free Weekend is here to help you do that. Coming up on GMSA, how you can save even more money in San Antonio.
All right, quick look at the spring flow. Look at that. Comal Springs, 145 cubic feet per second below average for this time of year. Justin Horn just texted me. Phoenix Airport, 118 today.
Ooh,
just updated the hottest August temperature on record.
Ouch.
Thanks
for watching.
I feel better about 99.